Well, we don't ever want to be social media fake on here. We want to be genuine and authentic.
We are John and Michelle, and we believe memories are more valuable than material possessions.
That's why we waved goodbye to 2,400 square feet of house and said hello to our 35-foot fifth wheel. I got a lot to do today, and nothing super major, but I want to take you along for the ride and show you some of the steps that I'm going to walk through in order to get us ready to hit the road to head home. We got to do some inspections. Michelle's going to climb up on the roof and give everything a once over. I am going to run our tanks. We're going to empty all of our black and gray out, and we have not sanitized our fresh for a while, so we're going to sanitize the freshwater tank. Headed to Tractor Supply to get our propane tank filled up. It's one of those kind of gray, gloomy days where things feel a little, there's like something in the air. And I'm not just talking about the humidity, but it's going to be a great day. We choose to make today a great day. Remember how I said it felt like there was something in the air today and it wasn't the humidity? Maybe it was just the humidity. That's the type of thing that will confound your plans if you've got a lot of stuff that you want to do outside. I don't think it's going to last long. It's not supposed to rain all day. But, man, it's one of those deals. That's what you got to deal with. And a lot of the stuff that I had on my to-do list was outside. You know, you go to Tractor Supply and get your propane filled up. They do it outside off the side of the building. Now, most of them have a little carport that they're under. So here's the latest wrinkle. They are not allowed to distribute bulk propane after rain. It has something to do with the puddles, some kind of regulation. So it's no big deal. I'll come back later. I thought it was very interesting though, because I was just talking about how most of these places have a carport, and the lady was like, yeah, this is the first one I've worked at that hasn't had a carport. So easy come, easy go. Anybody else remember when states were outlawing plastic straws because the trash was ending up everywhere? I just crawled out from under the fifth wheel, in amongst everything else. Today is mowing day at the campground, so I had to move everything out of the way so the guys could come and weed eat. Super good crew, and got all that out of the way. And now I'm back to work on sanitizing the freshwater tank. What we have here is, this is the spray port on the outside faucet, and I've run this down into my garden hose, and the garden hose I've got run 50 foot that way into a sewer hookup, and we ran all that. We had, I don't know, a third of a freshwater tank, and all of that needed to come out. That needed to be cleaned out. It hadn't been used for over a month, so that's what prompted me, that and periodic regular maintenance prompted me to try and sanitize this freshwater tank before we roll out of here tomorrow, because our first night we're boondocking in a parking lot. So I've got all of that ran out, and we'll walk down here. That is the freshwater holding tank release valve. So whatever couldn't run out of that hose, I pulled that, opened it up a bucket at a time, and took and dumped it responsibly. Lastly, what we've done is that's the low point valve, or the low point drain, and I've taken those white caps out and let the water run out. So we're completely out of water right now. We're not running any water from the city water connection. I've dumped everything out of the tank, and what I'm getting ready to do is change everything around and dilute some bleach water and run through the fresh tank and get that going in our lines.
It's all about being real and putting stuff out there that's encouraging and could provide some kind of entertaining or educational value for somebody who sees it, right? Well, we don't ever want to be social media fake on here. We want to be genuine and authentic. And I was filling this bucket up with distilled water, making a diluted bleach solution to run through our freshwater tank and sanitize it, and hadn't put the bleach in yet, thankfully. And Annabelle decided she was going to make some stew in my bucket, so she was putting grass clippings and dirt in a sanitized bucket with distilled water. So starting over, and she didn't know. She's just being a kid. It's actually kind of cool to see her using her imagination in that way and wanting to cook, is what she said. But thankfully, that's all it was. There wasn't any bleach in it, and just start over. Okay, so 4 gallons of water, a cup of bleach, a quarter of a cup of bleach per gallon of water. I've got my hose here. We've been using this for fresh water since we got here to Florida, and I checked. Actually it's right here. I had this guy that I had used in the past. It's done. It's not sanitary, even for running bleach water through. So trying to get these grass clippings off of here. It's like been one inconvenience after another, but that's the sanctification process. Come up here to our panel, sanitize, green right, red left, blue down, white down, black right, and we're gonna flip on the water pump.
blowing you all around. So now the next step is to hook the freshwater hose up, fill the tank the rest of the way. And since we're gonna do that, I have got another gallon of water, and I'm gonna fill up and get the rest of that chlorine solution out of that bucket so we can use the bucket for something else. We are going to power fill, so white right, blue left, black stays right, green is right, and red goes up. I'm gonna go turn the city water back on and let this tank fill up the rest of the way. And then we're gonna try and figure out how to let all of that out. You can't go back to Indiana with me. You won't survive the trip. It's too cold. So the freshwater tank is full, and I'm going to let that diluted bleach water solution sit in that holding tank, that freshwater tank, for probably the rest of the day, and then run it all out later, and we'll refill the tank. So I want to get water hooked back up for the girls inside, so I'm going to switch everything around on the Nautilus to city water connection. That stays, that goes down, that stays, and that goes up. Cool. Freshwater tank is marinating in its sanitized water, and the city water is hooked back up for inside. So now it's on to emptying the black and gray tanks. Well, hello there. That is the last of the bleach water. I read online, somebody recommended leaving that sanitized water in your holding tank for up to 12 hours. And we don't really have the luxury of time when it comes to that. A lot of times when you're doing this, it's going to be related to de-winterizing your unit. Since we live in it full time, I just want to make sure that the tank isn't contaminated in any way. We haven't used it in a couple of months. So before we hit the road and we're going to need it, at least in part, I wanted to make sure that we had some fresh water in there, some truly fresh water. So that's been in there for a few hours, and I checked the owner's manual for our Grand Design Reflection, and it suggests leaving that water in there for 3 hours. So that's a much more doable span of time for us. As you can see, that water is now out. Now I have to refill the tank, and what I'm going to do is, if I can reach this to close it, what I'm going to do is fill it all the way, and then let some of that out. That way it gets a good rinse after running that sanitized water through there. Going on about an 8-hour day at this point, and heading back to Tractor Supply, see if we can't get that tank filled up. And I'm gonna see if I can't get the rest of this stuff buttoned up, so we've got kind of an easy get out tomorrow. The person who does the propane has left for the day, so thankfully we've got enough to get home. I think, I really believe that. And as always, I mean, if there's a need for it, then I'll stop somewhere on the way home and grab it. But I'm calling it a day. It's been a good day. It's been a long day, and I am ready to have some tacos and watch a movie with my family. So thank you for hanging out with me today, and for coming along for the ride. I hope this video was helpful for you, and
see you on our journey.